Okay, so in today's video, we're going to talk about Instagram growth for OnlyFans creators. Let's get it in the slideshow. Here's a little intro about me. 6 months ago, I started my journey in social media management, mainly focused on content creators who do OnlyFans. In that time, I took one of my clients from below 1,000 Instagram followers all the way up to 280,000 in less than 6 months. We're currently over 315K, I believe. And it was a lot easier than I thought. That's the main thing, because everybody thinks that content creation or Instagram in general is super hard to do and you have to be special in some sort of way to do it, but it's just about knowing the right things that can propel you to where you want to be. There's lots of ways to do this and also lots of ways to mess it up. This video will give you a guide on what to avoid and what to focus on. This isn't just theory, it's my own step by step guide taken from real experience from my own journey in this space, mistakes and wins included. So, chapter 1 starting point. At the beginning, the creator was getting below 300 views per video and on OnlyFans making around 1 to 3k per month on average, which is pretty good considering there was less than 50 to 100 fans. So, there was definitely potential there, which is why it was easier to grow because the creator was working hard and doing the things that they needed to do in order for growth to just come seamlessly. She would always bounce around different platforms hoping to grow, but it would never work. This was because she divided her attention so much on multiple things that it was near impossible to grow. So energy, I talk about this in a minute, but energy is finite and you only have a certain amount of energy that you can pour into certain things before you're depleted of your energy. And if you're doing multiple different things every single day instead of focusing on pouring all of your energy into one thing, then it's going to be pretty hard to grow, if you know what I mean. So I told her how important organic traffic actually is. No black hat methods, no buying accounts, trying to get around the security, wasting money, wasting time, and not really building an influential platform or profile, I should say. Because once your account's banned on Reddit or dating apps or whatever it is that you're using black hat methods on, you all the work that you put in kind of disappears, you know? You're not really building an influencer, you're just fighting against the admins of these apps and hoping that you can stick around long enough to make however much money you want. But again, in the long run of things, it's not ideal and it's not sustainable. So we decided to work together and focus on just Instagram for the time being, as it was and still is arguably the best platform for any creator to have a following on. Again, where I was talking about just before, energy is finite. Think of energy as a finite resource. Imagine each day you wake up with 10 points of energy, and focusing your brain on different things requires different amounts of energy. Trying to grow on Twitter takes 2 points of your energy, TikTok takes two, YouTube takes two, Instagram takes two, and Snapchat takes two. This means each day you're dividing your attention multiple different ways and sinking your energy into so many different things that you don't make any real progress because it's like one step here, one step here, one step here instead of 10 steps in one direction to where you want to be. Which obviously the end goal is, as a creator, you want to gain a following, you want to earn more money, and same for anybody else if you're an agency watching this. So whereas you could just pump 10 points of energy into one platform every single day. And this is my amazing little diagram here. Multiple focuses, as you see. Imagine this on like a daily scale. Multiple focuses, you're just boom, 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 you're getting here. And then the guy who, or the girl who has one focus and she's just focused on Instagram, she excels and leaves this person behind. And then on a daily, weekly, monthly schedule, this person over on the right is shooting off, getting lots of followers, making lots of money. And then the person with the multiple focuses is taking little baby steps on Twitter, maybe a few followers, YouTube, a few views, TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram. instead of focusing everything on the main platform that matters, which is Instagram, out of all of the platforms. A million followers on Instagram is completely different to a million followers on Twitter or TikTok. YouTube is a bit different because having a million subscribers is really good, but Instagram and YouTube are probably the best in terms of having a following, but in terms of a following that you then want to funnel to OnlyFans, Instagram is the best out of all of them. So saturation, let's talk about saturation. It's really simple. Saturation means the market is growing. There is no such thing as too saturated if you believe in your ability to stand out. If you're one of those people that say, oh, Instagram's too saturated or this niche is too saturated, then you're basically saying that you don't have any belief in your ability to stand out in that market, in that niche, because you're already given up. You don't, you might as well not even try in the first place. If you're going to sit there and look for a niche that nobody's doing or nobody's interested in, but that correlates with each other, right? If there's a niche that's not very big, it's not very big because there's not a lot of creators doing that niche, and then there's also not a lot of people interested in it in the first place, right? So saturation just means that the market is growing. Saturated market means lots of attention is on that market. Imagine 50 hot dog stands, individual hot dog stands outside of a football stadium. So the little guys with the carts who sell hot dogs. And everybody is selling their hot dogs for $1.50. You, as a hot dog seller, could look at the stands and think, okay, it's super saturated. I'm not going to sell any hot dogs today. There's 50 other guys selling hot dogs, right? There's a lot of competition, but all you need to do is give people a reason to choose you and stand out in a way. So, for example, with the hot dog analogy, you could sell $1 hot dogs, right? It's not best to undercut prices, but that is something that you could do. Or with your hot dogs, you could give free onions, you could give a free bottle of water with every purchase, or you could have higher quality bread or buns, right? So there's lots of ways to stand out in a market that's saturated, and it's just about figuring out what works for you. It's the same with Instagram. Everybody's on there, everybody's looking hot, everybody's doing their dances, everybody's doing their verticals, and anybody can do it. So we need anybody can do it, so we need to focus on building a reason for people to choose you over somebody else. And that's where choosing a niche comes in. So, chapter 2, niche selection. Selecting a niche is very, very important because it helps you stand out and make content more naturally. An example of a bad combo of a niche and creator would be a blonde girl trying to make like goth content, you know? It just doesn't make any sense. Goths normally have super dark features, super black hair, and it just wouldn't make any sense. So it is super important that you pick a niche that makes sense for you as a person, what you look like, what you're into, your personality, what you're going for, your alter ego if you're trying to be somebody else, but it just needs to make sense because that's what people are looking for. People don't want to see a blonde goth. Maybe they do, but the majority of people who want to be interested in goth girls are going to look for you know, the traditional looking goth girl. So only you can figure out what your niche only you can figure out your niche and what works well for you. But here are some good ones, for example. E-girl, gamer girl, goth girl, girl next door, gym, yoga, cooking, vegan, green. That's like somebody who's always out in nature. All their videos are in nature. Public videos, streamer, office, nerd, mummy, massage, feet, funny, comedic, controversial, unboxing, stuff like Pokemon cards, Omegle, Asian, Latina, ASMR, reading, etc. And yes, Asian and Latina is a niche. It is a niche to be Latina or Asian. So deeper than a niche. Let's talk about verticals. We have main verticals and we have sub verticals. A niche will help you choose your core verticals. A vertical is basically an angle at which you choose to approach Instagram's algorithm. For example, you're a Latina girl who enjoys working out. Your main verticals could be gym content, like poses or exercises, yoga, like stretching, educational but sexy, and then get ready with me for the gym. They're like the main verticals. You want three or four of these. And then your sub verticals could be like bed bug videos, which is just laying down on a bed, dances, easy dances, and then for example, watering plants. Just you go to the gym, so you have a nice body, and then you just record yourself watering plants or doing small, easy things. The sub verticals are supposed to be super easy pieces of content to create. Another example, you're an outspoken blonde who's naturally funny. Your main verticals might be taking street interviews. I'm sure you have seen stuff like that before. Funny talking skits, controversial statements. Controversial stuff always works, as you see with Bonnie Blue and Lily Phillips. And your sub verticals could be like Snapchat videos, just someone pretending to record you, and then they post like a Snapchat caption. Super easy. And then non-verbal text skits can just be text on the screen that says something controversial or something funny. And then just like sexy bouncing videos. Another example, you're a nerdy gamer girl who is a little quirky. Main verticals could be clips from your stream, opening Pokemon cards or figures, cosplay transitions or get ready with me. Sub verticals could be gaming chair videos or gaming setup, just looking sexy on your gaming chair. Um, Anime tier lists, stuff that you can just edit over. Super easy stuff to do, controversial or not. You can, for example, say Naruto is the worst anime ever, and then you'll get lots of attention, or people will agree with you. People might hate you. You don't know. And then you can do cosplay dances or poses. So if this is you, for example, you're the nerdy girl who's a little quirky, and basically your whole page is like anime, cosplay, games, Pokemon, all that stuff. This is a good set of main verticals and sub verticals to follow. Another example, you're a vegan girl who loves nature and cooking. So your main verticals could be nature walks, cooking tutorials, or shopping hauls, like vegan panties or something, I don't know. And then your sub verticals could be yoga poses, greenery, like we talked about, just easy stuff, plants, trees, shrubs, anything. And then meditating, you could just do easy meditating stuff with captions or no captions. So again, like I said before, match your own vibe. It's important that what you choose to do in terms of niche and verticals makes sense for how you look and the location that you're in. You don't want to be. I thought about saying what I'm about to say, and there's arguments for what I'm about to say. But my example would be like you don't want to be the girl who is doing like beach content or bikini content in Alaska, you know what I mean? But when I thought about me saying that, it's like, okay, that could work. That's sexy, someone wearing a bikini in the snow. But you get the point I'm trying to make, right? You don't want to choose a niche or a vibe. You don't want to choose a vibe that doesn't match your own vibe because it's going to be super hard. People are going to see through the cracks and people are going to see that you're faking it. So it will be something you stick to for a good amount of time as well. So it's super, super important that you think about this properly. Just ask a friend, ask boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. Ask them about yourself. Ask them what vibe fits you, what verticals you should be doing. And again, matching your own vibe is the easiest way to do this because you'll enjoy it. It's easy because it's who you are. And the way you make money from this business is because people like genuine people, right? The big spenders on OnlyFans are going to be the ones who see you as a genuine person. They see that you're genuinely being yourself, and then it'll be easier for them to give you money, you make money, etc., etc. So, chapter three, content strategy that worked for me. We're going to go deeper into the verticals, how we use the verticals, the structure, the everything that we did to make the verticals work. So I mainly focus on reels and trial reels, as they are the easiest way to bring in new followers who have never seen your content before. Especially these days, reels in general act like TikToks now, so they don't just go to your followers, they go to everybody. And you can see this in the statistics. You can see that, oh, 50% non-followers, 50% followers, and stuff like this. So with that being said, the strategy for posting is usually the same, but it can vary. Most of the time, our creators post 3 times daily, which 3 reels daily, but can sometimes go up to 6 depending on the creator. Again, 6 could be overkill. Maybe 6 makes the account gain less views, or it could make the account gain more views. It just depends on the content that's being created. But three times a day seems to be the sweet spot. Some creators will batch create 21 posts made every week. So, for example, that's 3 posts per day. Maybe on a Monday, for example, they will create all of their posts, all of their reels, and then the rest of the week they don't have to create any more reels, which seems to be the best way to do it. Or they could work 2 days of the month and just create like 80 to 100 reels, and then we'll just repurpose them and keep pushing them out like that. It just entirely depends on what works best for you. But I think that weekly is a lot better because you can stay up to date with trends, you can make newer content, right? If you make all of your content on September 1st, for example, and then you're not making any new content until October 1st, you have a whole month where you've missed out on maybe potential trends, potential ways to grow your account. And the more you do work on the reels and the content, like the more consistent you are with it in a shorter time frame, the better it will be. So even if you was gonna make content daily, it would probably be better, but not as much as it would be. Like, for example, what I'm trying to say is a month to weekly is a very big difference. Weekly is a lot better than monthly, but daily is not a lot better than weekly, but it's still better. But I would recommend just record all of your content weekly or one day of the week, you know what I mean? So the verticals in strategy, how we like to divide the verticals up is like this. Main verticals are posted 6 to 7 times per week, and sub verticals are posted twice daily at a minimum. So it can look like this. Monday, we post main vertical 1, sub vertical 1, sub vertical 2. Tuesday, main vertical 2, sub vertical 1, sub vertical 3. Wednesday, main vertical 3, sub vertical 2, sub vertical 3. And then so on and so on, as you can see. And then maybe we'll throw in a carousel or a picture every now and then. So here's an example of the example that we talked about before. You are a Latina girl who enjoys working out. Main verticals, gym content, yoga, get ready with me for the gym. Sub verticals, bedbug, dances, watering plants. And plugging these verticals into the strategy can look like this. For example, Monday you do your gym content, which is the main vertical, and then a bedbug content, and then dances, which is the 2 sub verticals. And then Tuesday, you do yoga, bedbug, water plants, which is again one main vertical and then 2 sub verticals. And then Wednesday, get ready with me for the gym, again using main vertical 3, and then the sub verticals again, and then just so on and so forth. Yeah, and then just plugging in the verticals that you've chose for each day. Now we do this for a total of 6 weeks minimum. This is the main strat we follow for 6 to 8 weeks. We do this to collect data, not just to explode as fast as possible, because with data we can make calculated moves. The main thing that you should be focused on when you're just starting out is to collect data. Collecting as much data as possible is the main focus, because you could do this strategy for 2 weeks, right? And you're like, what the fuck's going on? I'm not making any views, nothing's happening. But 2 weeks is not a lot of time to collect any data at all. Fair enough if after 6 weeks you see that, okay, this gym content is not doing good, but the yoga content, people love it. It's actually helping me grow. I'm gaining followers from it. Then maybe you can double down on the yoga content, right? But you need at least 6 weeks to figure out what works and what doesn't work. Because again, we're going to talk about this later, but there's a lot of ingredients that go into making a piece of content. It's not just, okay, set the camera up anywhere and do a yoga pose. It's what position the camera is in, what angle the camera is in, the lighting, the clothes that you're wearing, the hairstyle that you're wearing, how you did your makeup, how your skin looks, how, what time of day it is, what the background looks like, what the floor looks like. There's so many different things that go into it, and you could overlook these things if you don't have enough data, right? For example, your gym content might do awful, but then you notice about 10% of the content, the gym content, does all right. And then there could be a trend of ingredients within the pieces of content that are working. And it could be, for example, every time the gym content does good, you're wearing a certain outfit, a certain background, the camera angle's different, stuff like this. So, because with data, we can make more calculated moves. At the end of the 6 weeks, you might come to find that main vertical 1 and main vertical 2 gain a lot of engagement every time you post them, but main vertical 3 does not. Your options here are to replace main vertical 3 with more main vertical 1s or 2s, or add in a new main vertical to replace it and continue doing more testing, which is probably the best way. You want to keep adding verticals after like 6 to 8 week periods to potentially gain your perfect vertical, right? Let's just make an example of views. Main vertical 1 and main vertical 2 might always get 100k views. Main vertical 3 might only get 15k. But you might add in a main vertical 4 and that might always get 500,000 views every time you do it, right? So it's important that you are adding in main verticals after the 6 to 8 week period so that you can safely delete one of your main verticals without doing it too prematurely. And the same goes for subverticals as well. A little bit more on subverticals. Subverticals are supposed to be your super easy to create pieces of content. For example, the bed bug laying in bed looking good, the standing poses, just standing or twirling for the camera, watering plants, angled from behind, just not doing much, and then walking, slow walking to and from the camera. Again, these are the easy to create pieces of content. These are great because they are easy to make and are also easy to consume for the viewer. Testing instead of aiming for perfection. It's crucial you give your ideas time to flourish and time to collect data. There's no good trying something for 2 weeks and giving up on it because you don't see the results. It's best to go as long as you can to collect the most data, like what I was saying before. Again, you don't want to end anything too prematurely because one of your main verticals could just need the right ingredient or the right tweak to make it like a super viral video, but you just need to try a few different things with the main verticals, the changing the ingredients, which we'll talk about a bit later, changing the ingredients to match what you're going for. And again, one small tweak. It's always a small tweak that takes a video from just a basic video to a viral video. And you don't want to miss that because you gave up after 2 weeks. So, verticals or viral videos. What to do when a viral video pops up? Now, viral videos are trends that you see all of the top creators doing. For example, the Gurr video, which was a few months ago. everybody was doing that, right? Because it hit the algorithm. It was like all you needed to do was copy this trend and post a video, and you were guaranteed to get views, just because of the trending sound. I would definitely say that you should jump on trends whilst they are hot, especially if they make sense for you as a creator. You don't want to start some random shit that doesn't make sense for your profile just because it will get you views. That's not what you want to do. Followers don't always equal money, right? There's people with like 5k followers, less than 5k followers making a lot of money because they have a super loyal fan base. What is that? They have a super loyal fan base, and it's just about not stepping too far outside of your creator's personality to where it gets to a point where your main fans who are supporting you the most dislike you. So I definitely wouldn't say don't do anything too controversial that goes against the character that you're trying to portray. But if it's just like a dance trend, something that makes sense for you, trending audios, trending challenges, like the ice bucket challenge, I don't know. But if it's something that does make sense for you, I would definitely say add in a few videos. For example, you're already sticking to your main verticals, your sub verticals. Add in a trending video to one day, right? Take a sub vertical out, add in a trending video, see how it does. Because again, we're collecting data. So, for example, recently we had the trending audio, which took over the space, and everybody was jumping on it. Again, don't let this take away from your plan and your focus because we're here to collect data and to see what works. Consistency is key. Instagram is a business, and as a business, it rewards its employees for consistency. Think of yourself as a ambassador or a employee of Instagram. You're allowed to be on the platform and do what you're doing because Instagram wants to make money off you, right? It's not a non-profit. They make money off ads, and the creators are who makes them money, right? So if people want to watch you, people are consuming your content, liking your content, sharing your content. Instagram is going to reward you by showing your content to more people because that's how they make money. That's Instagram in like a small scale basic explanation. So yes, in a way, everybody who uses Instagram provides Meta with something useful. Again, if you're a consumer of Instagram, if you're just watching reels, you're still benefiting Instagram. The viewers and the creators are both important for Instagram Meta to be profitable. So being consistent with how you post, when you post, and the quality of engagement you receive is super important. For example, you always want to post at the same time every single day so that your fans know when you're posting, Instagram knows when you're posting, Instagram knows when to push your content out to people, and just be consistent with the things that you're doing so that one, you can collect all of the data that you need for posting times, for who's interacting with your content and when, and then also how Instagram pushes out your content. You might notice that Instagram pushes out the same pieces of the same piece of content more at one time compared to another time if you're reposting a piece of content, for example. So that's why aiming for engagement is key with the content you make, as well as ensuring you never miss a day or time. My creators mainly post at 3 p.m., 6 p.m., and 9 p.m. But what I've noticed are when it comes to funneling to OnlyFans, there is a noticeable fall off between the 8 a.m. and 3 p.m. period for subscribers. It's just, I believe it is because of the posting, maybe, but from that time frame, there's like a noticeable fall off of subscribers. And then as soon as the first post gets posted, like from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m., the subscribers start going up again. And then after 9 p.m. to like 3 a.m., 4 a.m., they start to go down a little bit. And then again, so the posting does correlate to the subscribers, obviously, but it's you just need to make sure that you pick a good time. So look at Eastern times and Pacific times and stuff like that. So maybe it's just the time difference, but I do suspect it's due to a lack of posting at the correct time. But there is a fix for that. Stories. Posting stories is great because it means you are always on someone's mind. Sometimes, and I know you've done this too, you will go on Instagram and only view stories, then close the app down. I've done it before. I'm sure everybody else has done this. This is how a lot of people use Instagram at certain points in the day. Plus, it doesn't hurt to post more on your stories anyway. I'd say daily, 3 to 6 stories is always good for engagement. Again, questions, polls, just stuff that you're doing in your daily life to get people to engage. If people are liking your stories, replying to your stories, again, this shows Meta that people are interested in your account. It's not just about the reels, it's not just about the posts. It's about how people interact with your account as a whole. So look at it as a business. You have your stories, you have your posts, you have your DMs, you have people sharing your content, and then you have notes. You can add the notes as well. Again, bonus, post on notes too. Again, it's free engagement and gets you in front of people's eyes. So this is for your current followers, obviously. Stories are great. And again, notes, super simple. Just add a note. Maybe add what you're listening to music wise. People will see that when they go in their DMs. They'll see, oh, there's that creator. Maybe I'll go see what she's up to. Maybe I'll go subscribe to her. Maybe I'll interact with her content. And then that can then boost your content, right? Because there's gonna be people who never subscribe to the OnlyFans, but they just stay on Instagram and engage with all of your content. These people are super important too, because again, them engaging with your content tells Meta to push your content out to more people. So it's not just about nourishing your subscribers, but it's also about nourishing the followers that you have on Instagram too. So trial reels are great. Trial reels are super important. Trial reels are definitely one of the best forms of bringing in new traffic as they specifically target non followers. I'd aim to post about 3 trial reels per day and up to 10 daily. With trial reels, certain pieces of content that you posted on your main feed will. Okay, let me reword it. Certain pieces of content that you post on your main feed may not take off as much as they do on trial reels. So don't delete a piece of content out of your mind just because it did bad on your main feed. It might do amazing on trial reels, and it might bring in a lot more followers than any other pieces of content. I've seen it before. I've seen it many times. It just they kind of go hand in hand, right? If a reel's doing good on trial reels, it might not do good on normal reels, and then vice versa. But if you post a reel to trial reels and you haven't posted it to your main feed, and it's doing well on trial reels, like 1 million views, 500k views, 200k views, you can then post it on your main account and see if it works there. It might not, or it might. And then, what was I going to say? Hmm. I just realized you can't even see the thing with the fucking camera being in that way. Okay. Um. Oh yeah. What I was gonna say is you can repost trial reels over and over and over again. We've seen a lot of growth. For example, one trial reel got like over 1 million views, and then the next day we'd repurpose it a little bit and then post it again, and we'd get like tens of thousands of followers daily, weekly. Like in 1 month, we got like over 100k followers on this one account, and it was about 60% down to the fact of trial reels, and then 40% normal reels. The main thing you're looking for is vids that go viral, and then you can continue to use them over and over again for repurposing, like I just said. If you don't have access to trial reels right now, then do not worry about it. You can. I'm not sure if it's based on follow account, or I'm really not sure what trial reels are based on, but I know that some people have access to them, some people don't. I've heard that it's just chance that some people have access to them, or maybe at this point everybody does. I'm not too sure. So let me know if you do or you don't. Now, hashtags, I don't really suggest using them anymore. They seem pretty dead, pretty useless, and they look super ugly as well. Like just a million hashtags, like hashtag this. It just looks ugly. Advise against them, but if you want to use them and you have like 5 followers, you're just starting out. It might not be the worst idea because people can discover people through hashtags, right? Obviously, if you click on a hashtag and click new, you can see, but no, nobody's doing that. Even the CEO of Instagram said that hashtags are dead quite recently as well. But if you are using hashtags, then make sure to check which hashtags are banned for Instagram. Here's a link here. Just type in banned hashtags and this will come up. So let's move on to engagement farming versus brand building. It's good to engage. It's good to farm engagement, of course. Again, we spoke about engagement being the driving force of what makes Instagram push your account out to other people. But don't make it your whole thing if you want to create long term success. Because who knows, you may decide to stray away from OnlyFans in the end, but want to keep your following. For example, oh, I talk about this now. I think if your future plans include becoming more of an influencer and making money through more income sources like promos, brand deals, collabs with big companies or brands, etc., then it's definitely smart to focus on the brand over the engagement farming strategies, which will come in short bursts, especially if you're a creator, right? You don't want to just be super controversial for like a short amount of time, like the Bonnie Blues, for example. I don't see her strategies working in the long run. How many times can you sleep with 1,000 men? How many times can you do the crazy things that she's doing, right? She got in, made her money, and I'm assuming that she won't be in it for very much longer. So I'm sure you've seen creators who get a lot of growth for 2 to 3 months, then start to fall off hard. Usually it's when their content gets old and the engagement tactics don't work anymore. This is not saying don't make engaging content. Obviously, that's not what I'm saying. But sometimes it can hurt your account in the long run to be very annoying. Sometimes it can hurt your account in the long run to be very annoying in the pursuit of engagement. So again, Bonnie Blue, for example, her whole strategy and her whole personality was be super controversial. But in terms of promos, brand deals, collabs, etc., it's going to be very difficult for her to then collab with like super popular brands because she's super controversial, right? Having her as the face of a brand is not going to be beneficial to a lot of people. But for example, on the Switch side, Sophie Rain, Camilla, people like those, they can delve into like the brand deals and the promos and the collab side of things because they're not as controversial as people like Bonnie Blue. So it's just about, yes, you can be super controversial, you can make a lot of money, you can grow fast. If that's what you want to do, then do it. But if you have a long term plan of, I don't want to do OnlyFans forever, I want to do it for a few years, make some money, gain a following, and then I want to delve off into more of an influential side. Maybe you want to be a streamer, maybe you want to do YouTube, or maybe you just want to make your money and then leave and not create a super negative impact like Bonnie Blue did, then I'd say stay away from the controversial engagement farming for now, at least. So, a theme. Just to end off this chapter, I want to remind you to stick with a theme. There's lots of pretty girls out there, and it's not enough to just be pretty in this industry. You need a specific, unique reason for people to choose your content over other people's. That's how you build a brand and turn yourself into an influencer. Chapter 4: Scaling and Going Viral. It seems like you can't catch a break, but you're so close to that viral video. All you need is the right ingredients, and this can come in many. All you need is the right ingredients, and this can come in the form of many things. So, I spoke about ingredients before. They are a deeper level of the verticals. You have your verticals, your gym content. It might be doing shit, but all you have to do is change a few ingredients, tweak a few ingredients, and then the gym vertical might become amazing. It might hit viral levels of content every single time you post. So again, types of ingredients are the lighting of the video, the background, the outfit, the movements that you're doing, the speed at how you're doing the movements, the specific dance, the flip of the video, the hair style, the hair color, the nail color, whether you have nails or no nails, the makeup style, the sound used, if there's any background noise, the time of day, the light colors. For example, there's like a blue light here. Um, the accent if you're talking, how you pronounce words, how you just move in general, your smile, the timing of how you do certain things. These are all different ingredients that, when added together, create the video. So you have your gym content for your main vertical, and then you need to look at the ingredients below the gym content, right? What's the lighting like? How's the background? Does it make sense for gym content? What outfit are you wearing? What's the color of the outfit? Is it shorts? Is it leggings? Is it, tights? I don't know. All of these different ingredients are super important for making a viral video. And you can look at like Jelly Beans' content, for example, or Sophie Rain's content, and you can see when she repeats certain dances or certain trends, there'll be something the same, right? The ingredients will be the same. Maybe it's hairstyle, outfit style, color, background, whether she's in a car, the time of day, stuff like that. All of these ingredients make sense to the viral video. You can't gain a super viral video in like a white skirt, for example, doing a certain dance at a certain angle, and then just use the same sound, different background, different outfit, same dance, but everything else, all of the ingredients are completely different, and then it doesn't go viral. And then in your mind, you're thinking, okay, this trend's dead, this vertical's dead, but it's not. You're missing the deeper layers of it, that it's all about the ingredients. All of the ingredients have to be the same for the content to go viral again. And on the off chance that it does go viral without those ingredients, that doesn't mean that you don't need the ingredients for it to go viral. That just means you've made another viral video, right? It's super simple. That's why when you repost the same video, it always does good. You get a viral video, and every time you post it, it always does good without fail. That's because the ingredients that you added to that specific video are perfect for the video to go viral. So all of these things and more are different ingredients, and once you hit that viral video and begin to pick out what ingredients went into it, you can then begin to reverse engineer more viral content. For example, you might notice you gain more views when you wear a short white skirt, or you may notice more engagement when the camera angle is a little lower. All of these possibilities and combinations are what make content what it is. So it's down to finding the right pieces or ingredients that fit for you. There's a reason the big creators recreate the same videos with the same dances, same sounds, and usually the same style of outfit and facial expressions. It's because they found a recipe that worked. And that's how you can think of viral videos, right? It's just a recipe. What ingredients do I need to make this recipe work? It's like a cake analogy that my mentor talks about. It's like you can give Gordon Ramsay the ingredients to make a cake, but if the milk is stale or the eggs are rotten, Just because Gordon Ramsay made the cake doesn't mean it's going to be nice if the ingredients are bad, right? But if the ingredients are good and the person who made the content is good at making the content, then it's going to create something that's delicious, good viral content, right? And that's all content creation is, finding a recipe that works. It's really that simple. Going through combinations of different ingredients to find what works best for you, for your looks and your personality, as well as ensuring content either entertains, educates, engages, or inspires. For example, baking a cookie video is educational and it's engaging. Your ingredients are white skirt, low camera angle, your hair's in a bun, white long socks, you're wearing glasses, a red apron, the flowers all messy, maybe it's all over you, and you're talking softly. There's a set of ingredients that you can follow and attempt to make a video with, right? And then if that video blows up, then you know that that combination of ingredients works for you. Those are some ingredients you could put into a video, and then if it blows up, you can then reuse the ingredients over and over until the idea fades. So why did my creator blow up? She must have earned over 100,000 followers in a single month and over 50 million views. I think it was around 59 million in 1 month, and this was when she was just starting out. Mainly, this was due to trial reels, like I said before, about 60%, and doubling down on what worked for her, following the main verticals, sticking to the plan, allowing the plan to have enough time to flourish. We tried for a while testing different verticals, and we landed on some that worked. People love to see her do. But this did take a good 2 to 3 months in the beginning. So, like I said, it took 6 months to get there, but there might have been 2 to 3 months of working on what worked for this creator. It's like Abraham Lincoln said that quote: "If you give me 5 hours to cut down a tree, I'll spend the first 4 hours sharpening the axe," right? Or whatever he said, I don't know. It might not have even been him. But the point is, it can take a while to find what works, but then once you understand the ingredients, you just build on it and keep repeating what works, and then you just blow up. It's so simple, it's crazy. Again, this took 2 to 3 months before we saw any growth at all, and it was just about sticking to the plan. So again, it's just about keep going. Once you get the momentum, it's best not to stop. Keep pushing the content that works. Keep finding ingredients that work for you, your personality, your vibe, your theme. Keep pushing content that works whilst keeping things new and interesting. So maybe new trends, try new ingredients, see if they work. Don't always just stick to the same thing. You can try things to see how it works. It's easy to get lazy and just keep repeating the easy option of following the same old recipe. It's good to follow the same old recipe if it's working, but if it's starting to die out and you just don't get with the times, you stay doing the same thing, hoping that it continues to go up, because nothing is gonna last forever, right? It's gonna it's gonna run out of steam, it's gonna run out of energy eventually. You're not gonna be able to do the same trend or the same recipe over and over and over and over again. People will get bored, people will stop caring. So you need to always keep trying new recipes, always, always. That's why you give yourself those 6 to 8 week periods where you're trying new things, you're focusing on. Again, it's super simple. I keep overcomplicating it to myself, and I know that that's what everybody else does, but it's super simple. Just keep trying your main verticals in 6 week periods. Same with the sub verticals. Keep looking at the ingredients that you're putting into the videos, and then just keep changing and tweaking things until you get what works, and then build on that, and then just keep going. It's that simple. You have to keep trying to make new recipes at the same time. That's how you stay ahead of the game. So, chapter 5, challenges and mistakes. There will be a lot of headache. That's how things are that are worth your time. Never give up on pursuing this dream of making money through Instagram because it is very rewarding once you get the hang of it. And personally, myself, I do believe that every single person can make it on Instagram if they just follow like the blueprint, the verticals, the ingredients, making sure you understand what works best for you. I do believe that every single person could make it on Instagram if they just stuck to it and they did the right things, because a lot of people waste months or years trying to grow on Instagram doing the wrong things. But I do believe that if you believe in yourself and your ability to continue making great educational, engaging, rewarding content for people to consume, then it's inevitable that you do blow up. Okay, yeah, so chapter 5, we're talking about challenges and mistakes, things like that. Shadow bans and account restrictions. Really simple. Shadow bans don't exist. If anybody says your account's shadow banned, they're lying. Don't listen to them. Shadow bans do not exist. Your account cannot be shadow banned on Instagram. It is illegal. They must tell you when they are restricting your account, and they do. It's in a tab called account status. You can see everything. You can see the green ticks. You can see what content's being restricted, if your account's being restricted, why it's being restricted. Instagram will tell you if they're not pushing your content out to other people. Shadow bans do not exist. It's that simple. If Instagram is restricting your account, then by law, they have to tell you about it. That makes things easy. You can check if you have any account restrictions on the account status section found in your settings. When it comes to restrictions, I find that deleting whatever content is causing the issue usually solves everything. So in account status, it will tell you what content is the problem and what's restricting your account. So just delete it forever. Don't archive it, delete it. Even if it's a really good piece of content, it might be your best piece of content. If it's restricting your account, delete it. Or you can appeal. Well, we'll talk about that later. Bans and suspended accounts. We actually recently did get an account suspended and one of our big creators, and we didn't understand why. Instagram didn't really give us a reason, and it was due to the suspension coming from like an automated AI type thing. It was weird. All we could do was appeal. We got the account back 2 days later. It was a mistake, and AI was the cause of this. And most suspensions are done through AI detection. So if you find yourself suspended and you know personally that your content is pretty tame compared to other creators that you see, because I see creators doing crazy stuff and I don't understand how they get away with it. But stay calm, just appeal, try and get your account unbanned, and most likely you will get it unbanned because it's usually due to like an AI faulty detection, and then they just obviously not, when your account gets banned, it usually isn't like a human being that has seen your account and then banned you. It's always through AI. The moment the account was suspended with about 190k followers at this point, and there was a moment of panic, but we got it right back. We got right back to work and focusing on the creator's second account and then building out a third. You always want a backup account. I'd say build a backup account when you're around 5 to 10k followers. Start building your backup account. Maybe you can post exclusive content on there. Not exclusive in that term, but like content that you won't post on your main, you'll post on there so that fans of your main account can then go push your content out to other people. And then, yeah, you'll always have a backup, because if suspensions do happen, you want something to fall back on. You don't want your account suspended and then your entire funnel is just broken. You want something to fall back on, which is why having a second or third account is always good. And always make sure that the link in bio for the second account is different from the main account, because sometimes Instagram will mass ban accounts based on link, and then obviously they'll just ban all your accounts if the link is the same for your multiple accounts. So but followers are nice and they add so much to the aesthetic of the account and trust they have in you, but it's not the end goal. you could have 100,000 followers and not make any money on OnlyFans, right? I've seen it before. I've seen more than that. I've seen big creators not making any money on OnlyFans at all, and they have millions of followers, right? Like people with 5 million followers, and they make like super lewd content, but they struggle to break top 5% on OnlyFans, for example. So more followers doesn't always mean more income. There are many small Instagram accounts making upwards of $10,000 to $20,000 a month on OnlyFans. But more followers is always a good thing, of course, especially for other things that we've talked about earlier, like the promos, brand deals. The whole point of this specific page is just to say a following count does not equate to how much money you will make on OnlyFans because again, in the past I've seen people with zero following or less than 2K followers making 6 to 10K a month on OnlyFans. So it doesn't always equate to followers equals more money. But again, more followers is always good, especially if it's organic. Never buy followers. Second account. I recommend building out a second account on the side so that you can always have a backup. Again, different links in the bio for different accounts. I'd say do this when you're around 10K followers, 5 to 10K. Start promoting your second account and post exclusive pieces of content to the second page every once in a while. So, for example, if you are a creator who your 5 year plan at the end of it, you want to become a streamer, or you're already becoming streaming as like a side hobby of the OnlyFans of the content creation. On your second account, you can do like more streaming stuff to kind of build a second fan base. That always works well. Um, Content fatigue. It can definitely become stressful or even boring doing the same things over and over again, and it is just normal. Everybody gets like that no matter what job you're working. Maybe you fall out of love with it, or maybe it's affecting you mentally. You need to make sure you're finding ways to enjoy content creation because at the end of the day, if you are making a living from content creation, from OnlyFans, from Instagram, you're in a better boat than a lot of people. You make your own hours, you have a lot more time freedom, location freedom, financial freedom, hopefully, or maybe not the financial freedom at this point, but you definitely have the location and the time freedom if your only pursuit at the moment is content creation, social media. So you've got to at least find ways to enjoy it because you're not waking up for your 9 to 5, you're not trekking to work, working for some boss who doesn't care about you. You have a lot of opportunities to make this fun and to make more money with it. So when the fatigue starts hitting, if it's affecting you mentally, you just need to switch how you view it. It's all about perspective and it's all about making things enjoyable. And again, when you do enjoy what you're doing, it's easier to create better content. So if this does happen to you, maybe try a new vertical or add in something that you'd really enjoy to do. Ex- Streaming, for example. Add in some streaming clips or do streaming if that's something that you really want to do. You want to play games, you want to talk to people, you want to do a different side of what everybody else is doing, and that's your goal. Add it in. It might not get the most views, it might not grow your account how you want it to grow your account, but it might be something that you're passionate about. So I would suggest definitely make sure it's enjoyable. Make sure you're enjoying what you're doing. If that means you have to lack on views, then I guess if it helps, if it makes you mentally happier, then just follow what you want to do. So yeah, maybe try a new vertical or add something that you'd really enjoy to do. Otherwise, overwhelming yourself will only serve to diminish the quality of your content. If you're waking up and you're like, fuck, I don't want to do this, you're just gonna create shit content most of the time. So either find a way to enjoy what you're doing or change what you're doing. Either. So the mental side, dealing with slow weeks or months, and they do happen, they will happen, and they will never go away. There will always be times and seasons when you're doing a lot less than you have done before. It's never going to be an upwards trajectory forever and ever, right? Sometimes you'll deal with slow days, weeks, or even months. It's definitely avoidable, but it does happen. It's best not to overthink or count yourself out. Just go back to the drawing board of choosing your verticals and staying consistent enough to collect more data and figure out where the bottleneck is coming from. Maybe you had a good run, 6 months, you're making 20, 30K every single month, and then you go down to 10K. You can look at the content that you're creating. Maybe you got a bit lazy with it. Maybe you're doing the easy stuff, and or maybe the content that you're creating has just died out. The ingredients don't work anymore. It's important that you're always self-assessing yourself and making sure that you are making refreshing content, you are doing things that people want to see, you're not just getting lazy with it, because that's where bottlenecks happen. And then the longer you put off working harder or smarter, the more bottlenecks that will happen, and then you have to go back, and then you have to, okay, this is why this is happening, and then you change that, and then something else breaks, and then you have to change that, and then the combination of the flow of the funnel, there's many different sections where things can get cut off, and then it might be cut off here and it's just dripping through, and then there's another cut off and you have to fix everything. But you can avoid this if, as you're going along, you're keeping an eye on everything, you're collecting the data, you're making sure that everything that you do is helping your business go up and making things refreshing. But again, it's inevitable. You can't avoid the slow months, the slow weeks. Just stick at what you're doing. Try and improve. Try new verticals if they make sense in the 6 week period. And then yeah, just make sure that you don't get lazy with it is all I'm saying. So yeah, don't panic, just observe and keep moving forward with the work that you're doing. Verticals will die out eventually, and so will trends. There are lots of examples of this, and I'm sure you've seen them personally. It's just the same way. It's not just this business that this stuff happens. It's the same for everything. Like YouTube, for example, look at Mr. Beast. Everybody was doing the Mr. Beast content for like the past 5 years with like the super crazy edits, the smiling faces on the thumbnails. And now I think that everything's going back to more of the long form raw content. People like to consume longer form content, more raw, less edits, and it's just a cycle. That's how it used to be. Then it was the Mr. Beast era. Now it's going back to like the raw, long form content, and then maybe it'll go back to like the Mr. Beast stuff, the crazy. It's just how things happen in life. Everything comes in a cycle, and it will go round and round. And it's the same with this, right? So just make sure that your head's always in the game and you know what direction the business is going in, because it's your job to know. So just take things easy. Just take things easy and focus on the input as much as possible. So chapter 6, key lessons and framework. If I had to start over, I'd definitely focus on the verticals and perfecting them, and the ingredients, making sure my creator is consistent with them. It's important to stick to the plan that you made for at least 6 weeks, even if traffic is slow. You've got your main verticals, you've got your sub verticals, you're looking at ingredients, you're sticking to a 6 week plan. Every Monday, your first post is main vertical one, so forth, so on and so forth. Stick to the plan, stick to the consistency of the posting, the ingredients, the verticals that you're using, so you can collect the data, right? Monday, this happens. Tuesday, this happens. Wednesday, this happens. Thursday, this happens, etc. It's important to stick to the plan you made for at least 6 weeks, even if traffic is slow. Collabing with other creators is also very helpful, but it's not needed. I just threw that in there because we didn't really do any collabs with the creator that I'm talking about in this video for the longest time, and she didn't need them. She grew without any collabs, any shout outs. anything from zero to over 300,000 followers with no help from any other creators or accounts or anything like that. So it's not needed, but obviously it can help, and it can help boost, make things faster maybe. And I'd have more faith and belief in the process because that's a big part of it. I'm a big believer that doubting yourself and overcomplicating things due to impatience is a death sentence. If you wake up in the morning and the first thought that you have is, oh, I don't know if this content's going to work today. I know this is not going to get any views, or whilst you're recording, you're like, oh, this is not going to work. This is stupid. It's not going to work, is it? Because you've already lost faith in yourself. People are only going to respect you as much as you respect yourself. And that's an important quote to live by because if you've already failed yourself, already doubt yourself, then why should other people believe in you? Or yeah, why should other people believe in you if you don't believe in yourself? It's that simple. And they shouldn't because you're already giving them an out. You're already showing them that you don't believe in your ability to make great content, so why would they consume content that the creator doesn't even think is good, you know? Again, it's like I said in the beginning, all of this is super simple. You might have a light bulb moment and be like, oh, yeah, fair enough, but it is super simple and it's very easy to overcomplicate everything. And there's a reason why everybody who makes it big, actors, artists, musicians, 99% of the people who make it, they always say that they believed in themselves. And that's the main thing, believing in yourself that you can do this, you can make good content, you can make viral content, you will gain hundreds of thousands of followers, you will make tens of thousands of dollars on OnlyFans. It's all about the belief. And if you don't have the belief, then find it before you do anything else. Now, the three biggest principles of Instagram growth for OnlyFans creators. Number one, magnetize branding and consistency. Your Instagram has to immediately communicate who you are and why someone should follow you. This means cohesive visuals, the colors that you choose, the outfits that you choose, the editing style. It all needs to be unique and follow you as a brand. A profile bio that signals value. It could be seductive, playful, or lifestyle based depending on your persona. Again, a bio could be something super simple, something super cute. Just has to represent you. Posting consistently, stories daily, feed posts, reels several times per week. Again, we spoke about the verticals. And without a consistent brand presence, growth turns into random follows that don't convert. And again, followers mean nothing if they're not converting. I said before, followers are great, followers are nice, but they don't mean that you're making a lot of money. Number two, engagement first content strategy. Instagram is an engagement driven platform. If people interact, the algorithm pushes your content. So the key tactics: post short form video, reels, behind the scenes, focusing on your verticals to get people talking. Watch time is the biggest factor at the moment, as well as like ratio. So you have to keep people engaged throughout the entire video, and you have to make sure that people like the content so that they keep coming back for more, and so that the content gets pushed out to more people. So again, even in the caption, you could say something that makes them like the video or ask a question that makes them comment on the video. For example, what's that fucking high waisted, low waisted? I don't remember what it is, but you know what I'm talking about. So use story polls to get engagement, questions, sliders, polls to get fans tapping and DMing. Because again, sending when a fan tries to DM you again, it's also engagement, so it also counts. Reply to comments and DMs quickly. It boosts the algorithm and boosts connection. I'd say within like the first hour, or depending on how many comments you're getting, I'd say for the first half an hour to an hour, make sure that you're engaging with the people who are commenting on your videos. Engagement is the engine. Without it, reach dies. Final one, conversion oriented funnel. Followers don't matter if they don't end up on OnlyFans. You need a clear funnel. Best practices, make the OnlyFans link easy to access with a custom domain or your link me. Plus, a pinned story highlight also works very well. Use story teasers, like want more, you know where to find me. Like making it super obvious how people can view more of your content. Watch out with emojis though, because lately emojis have been getting content flagged. So yeah, emojis are being super weird. Also, watch out for links in stories. Links in stories are being super weird as well. I know you probably haven't seen anybody doing that lately. And rotate between your growth type content, your engagement content on your stories, and your conversion content. So just all of it. You want your stories with your questions, your polls, your daily life. You want your reels. You can add questions in the captions, engaging content, educational content, fun content to consume. And always remember, Instagram isn't the end goal, it's the top of your funnel. You're here watching this video because you want to grow on Instagram and you want to make money from OnlyFans, most likely. From Instagram, you're taking people to the OnlyFans. So if you're a creator, I've seen this a lot. If you're a creator who like you're focused so much on the Instagram side of things, yeah, you're gaining views, you're gaining followers, but you're not even like directing anybody through the funnel. You're not trying to send people to the OnlyFans, even though that's what you want to do. That's how you're making your money. It's just I don't know. Instagram isn't the end goal. You want to push all of as many followers as you can to the OnlyFans so you can make as much money as you can. So here's a quick 6 month plan. Following a 6 week testing phase for your verticals to acquire as much data as possible, you can test the waters a bunch of times. Every 1.5 months, you can run a 6 week strategy. You can run this 4 times over a 6 month period to acquire the data that you need. So again, you can do your 6 week plan with your three main verticals, your three sub verticals, see what ingredients work, see what verticals work, and then again, you can do another 6 week strat, see what works best there, see what verticals you keep, see what you left, see what ingredients are good, see what didn't work, and then over 6 months, you can then collect all of that data from 4 different 6 week testing phases and then see what worked and what didn't work, and then having all of that data that you can look back on, 6 months worth of data, 3 reels a day that you can look back on, all those ingredients, all those verticals, you can propel yourself forward as much as you can just by following the data, just by literally looking back on what you've collected and crafting a combination of the best pieces of content, best strategies that will move you forward. And that's why collecting data is so important. So I know 6 months seems like a long time and everybody wants the results now, but if I told you it would take 6 months to get over 100,000 followers on Instagram and start earning $10,000 a month minimum on OnlyFans, would you think that's reasonable? I think everybody would say yeah, especially if you're somebody who's making like an average salary, right? Like, I don't know what the average salary would be right now, like 1,600 to 2K in the United Kingdom. If I told you, okay, you have to work 6 months on this thing and you could be making $10,000 a month, would you do it? Everybody would say yeah, right? Unless you're making more, but you get the point. So follow the 6 week plan 4 times, keeping or removing verticals that don't work for you in the long run. At the end of the 6 months, you should have built yourself a solid, unique brand that has fans, followers coming back to you to get their fix of something special. And everybody can be special in one way or another. I said this before. It's my personal belief that everybody can make it on Instagram in one way or another. You just have to do what works for you, how you look, your vibe, your personality, your interests. If you culminate a strategy that works for you, how all of those things that I just mentioned, and you do it correctly, consistently over this period of time, I guarantee you that you will make it. And if you don't, it's something that you did wrong along the way that you just need to tweak to make work properly. So three main verticals, three sub verticals, posting 3 times a day minimum. You have your daily stories, you're replying to comments, you're posting on the notes section. After 6 weeks, remove any verticals that obviously underperform and add new ones. Keep the ones that work and the ones that show off your personality and repeat. This page here is all you need to follow. It's that simple. It's all you need to do, and you will eventually start growing on Instagram. So, and it can be tough as Instagram is a super competitive platform, and standing out can be hard. Creating good, viral, engaging content can also be hard. But again, I do believe anybody can do it with the right guidance and help. Furthermore, if you're looking for a bit more of a tailored experience guiding you to that level of traction, income, just give me a message on Instagram. It's in the description or it's right there. And yeah, good luck. Stay consistent.